Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Team Fortress TV, and we're here for some ETF2L action. This is Admirable. Got Sideshow with me and DavidTheWin doing the production. Get your bets on, guys. Saloon.tf is back. Papa's got a brand new bag, Sideshow.
Absolutely, it looks fantastic as well. The way it works is slightly different. You've got a loot bag now, so it doesn't matter if Steam goes down and Valve try. No matter how hard Valve tries to take us down, we won't be stopped. Admirable, we won't be stopped. We can still bet until we're blue in the face. But this one, the money is fairly set. Do you think?
Yeah, most people not expecting an upset in this game. The teams playing tonight in this ETF2L Season 22 Premiership powered by Saloon.tf Week 6 fixture will be TF2 Center and Animate. And if you're sitting there saying, huh? TF2 Center has Master Noob managed to get a team into the Premiership? Not quite, it's Epsilon, but they're playing under a new name tonight as Master Noob has coughed up fat stacks of cash to send these guys to DreamHack Winter. What gossip can you tell me about that, Sideshow?
No gossip, only that they're very grateful that he did. They had a fundraiser going, and there was the whole controversy on Team Fortress TV about, you know, whether people should be fundraising top teams to send them to events, and whether Epsilon were worthy, given that they do Epsilon even care, Admirable, you know. But in the end, TF2 Center Master Noob came out and he said, "I'll sponsor you guys to go to DreamHack if you spread the word about my lovely." About my lovely site that's furthering competitive TF2. And they said, "Sure, Master Noob, we'd love to."
Matt CV's silenced in one fell swoop by Master Noob's generosity. So that's something to talk about, but I know we're up against the time here because the team's already joining for the team comms, so let's jump into the stats courtesy of our Lord and Saviour, Gentleman John. Got the delightful stats prepared for you, and this will illustrate a few of the perhaps changes tonight. As usual, you would expect Numlocked on Demo, Tech on Pocket, Mike on Roamer, Shocky and Flippy on Scout. I do have Nox listed here, but it's actually... Oh, David wants me to redo it. But it's actually... it's going to be Bulle stepping in tonight after Nox rage quit from the game. He says it's not working at all now. I have to redo the whole stats thing, Sideshow. I think we just got a white page. David says it worked. I don't know. It worked. I can't see it on my page.
It worked for David and didn't work for us. David screwed something up. Well, no, I'm sure it wasn't David. David's normally more tech competent than both of us.
Just refresh the page. It works for me now. I can see it anyway.
Delightful. I can't see it, but I know all the players anyway.
So Bull is in for Nox, but I just left Nox in here for the original roster. Jumping ahead then to the Animate team sheet. Classic. We see Ryder on Demo, Fragmenta on Medic, Nation on Roamer, and Nuki and Walters on Scout. And it's actually another change here. AMS is going to be playing for Natural. So beware of that as we move forward. I'm just going to rattle through these reports here. No time for any shenanigans here. Take a look at this delightful head-to-head again with the original players. I just wanted to give you an illustration of what these teams have been or how they've been performing so far this season. This kind of shows you like what each player contributes as a percentage against his teammates, only in his main class in fact. But you can see here Nuki spiking out there, man, with 27.5% of the frags found by Animate, and that's just a Scout, where on the other side it seems fairly even. Like there's quite an even distribution there. Maybe Numlocked, the guy's not doing much for his team on the Epsilon side.
I think the thing that stands out on Epsilon to me always is that Mike does so much work on roaming soldier. I mean, he does take slightly more heals, I guess, than some roamers, but he's definitely not like playing the second pocket role that he has done before. But he still pumps out like ridiculous numbers. He's done like 23% of his team's damage, and he's getting a lot of frags there. So he's just a monster of a player on roamer. He sets them up so well.
It's quite interesting even just look across at Nation, who only gets like 17% of the frags. Mike is edging him out there. Let's jump ahead then for some lulls here, I decided to do a little head-to-head with the players who've been subbed out, and now Bulle actually maybe only played one game as a Merc or two maps.
He did play for us actually as well at the beginning of the season, which should be recorded as well. So
yeah,
that won't really favour him, seeing as that was a 5-0 against Reason Gaming. But
those are the only games he played, right? So those are the logs that are used here because he hasn't played in an official for Epsilon yet.
Yeah, so he isn't looking too favourable in that matchup.
He's
I guess
like the worst med in Prem based on having to play with full tilt ones. He's 10th. He's ranked 10th there.
Yeah, even Koss has come out better. He's worn his way through like multiple games with full tilt, but Bull just got a really bad one there, so the stats don't look too good. But in terms of overall skill as an actual player, Bull's more than competent. I mean, he's one of the best medics. He came second at I-55, for goodness sake. He's a fantastic medic, and he's not unfamiliar to playing in high-stakes situations whatsoever. And pairing back up the Bull and Tech combo adds a lot of synergy, I think. Yeah,
definitely. I just wanted to troll people with this delightful report. Here's one that actually looks interesting. It is Amps versus Natural. I'm stepping in for Natural today, but he is, of course, TLR's pocket, and his stats slightly more impressive. Double the air shots. Let's talk Turkey here, man. The real stats. Double the air shots on average of Natural so far this season. He's a couple of places above in your kind of rankings there. Puts out significantly more damage, but he's not really top in the charts in terms of kills per death, and I think that's because Amps dies a lot in his pocket. He loves to throw himself in and try and do everything for a team when maybe that's not necessarily the best thing. People are playing that very suicidal soldier style. How's that going to translate over to Animate tonight? I don't know.
I think that's the style that Nation will enjoy playing with, but Nation's hardly the powerhouse for this team anyway, so it really will be on Amps, I think, and it's a gigantic upgrade in my opinion. I mean, Amps is one of the best pockets this season. He's been playing so well, even though sometimes his Ubers are a little questionable. In a team like this, it should be night and day telling the difference. And if they're able to get any points, I'm expecting it to be off the back of Amps really driving the team forwards. I think he's got to be a spearhead for the team rather than Natural trying to kind of the slow grandfather at the back trying to hobble his way up and catch up the rest of his team.
Yeah, look at the heals as well. I think that really tells that story. Amps 240 heals per minute. Natural 325 just really shows that Natural tends to stay with his medic a lot, where Amps wants to get in there and do work. So maybe this is even going to pay dividends for the rest of the team here. He'll be able to get more heals, that Natural isn't soaking them all up anymore.
Yeah, and that should really open the way for Nuki and Walters as well, who really are powerhouse scouts. They just, on this team, they've never been able to shine at all. I mean, some might say that they possibly aren't like top caliber scouts. They shouldn't be able to go toe to toe with people like Flippy and Shocky anyway. But I think they definitely can. It's just the way that you open it up for them as a team, and I don't think Natural and Ryder ever really did that, because Ryder, although he puts out a lot of damage and it does fairly well, he does suck up a fair amount of heals himself, and when he's paired with Natural, who just is a real sponge, there's no hope of the Scouts shining. And I think that the Scouts really have to shine if they want a good performance.
Our last report then is just the team record so far. So currently Epsilon are second in the league. They're sitting there on 23 points. They've pretty much guaranteed themselves a place in the playoffs. I don't want to speak too soon actually, but they'll be looking to pick up maximum points here tonight against Animate, who have 8 points so far from 5 games, sitting second from last, and that's one of the relegation spots. So they need to scrape some points here together, and unusually for an Epsilon side, TF2 Center, this is pulled from the ETF2L API, where they haven't changed their name yet. They've actually not won every game this season. A couple of big blue squares there signifying draws against Last Resort and Reason Gaming. Maybe not the best Epsilon, I'm doing air quotes there, roster of all time, Sideshow. Are they beatable?
Well, it's both on the same map as well, which I think highlights a big opening in the map pool, really. A big weakness for Epsilon is their process game at the moment. They lost to TLR, they lost to Reason, and while you might expect Reason, or maybe even TLR on a good day, to to take a map from them on anything. It's I think it's a little more than a coincidence that they both happened on process. But against Animate, I think they've actually Animate are really unlucky, because even if there was any chance of them taking a map here, I think Sunshine and Granary are two of Epsilon's strongest maps actually this season. They seem to be doing really well on them. They've got excellent Granary mids. It forces a lot of team cohesion out of a team that don't practice as often. Granary, just the way that it's set up. And Sunshine, for some reason, I think they must have just practiced it tons or gone through it as a map, a load, because they previously got beaten on it by TLR, but they beat Reason on it. They've been looking really strong on it in scrims. I don't expect an upset there either, even though you might have thought that before coming into the fixture.
And the change, Nox, maybe he wasn't the biggest fan of Sunshine. Maybe Numlocked's going to have to, or I'll actually have learned how to roll out in this map. Am I asking too much?
I think you definitely are.
That's going to be it for the stats then. I know the teams are champing at the bit to go here. We actually have both teams available for team comms, so I'll have to try and remember to use and abuse that. But it's time to get things underway. If you've just joined us, this is Europe's top division, the ETF2L Premiership, and it's second place, 7th here. It's supposed to be a one-sided game. The betting would indicate that as well, but Sideshow, do you think there is the potential for an upset here?
I think there's definitely the potential for some kind of saloon upset, because Saloon TF's got it so that if they lose a golden cap, then or is it win a golden cap, they win, or something like that. But anyway, it's to do with golden caps rather than who actually takes a map. So I think Animate have definitely got it in them to try and force a draw out on one of these maps. But I can't see them winning outright. I can see them just squeezing a draw together, backed by Ams's big plays and one of the scouts going huge or something like that. If Flippy has a bad day on Granary perhaps, then they might be able to squeeze something together. I wouldn't expect Animate, who are currently sitting in what could be a relegation position, to be able to contest a playoff team like Epsilon. But this season has been so close. Teams have just been taking points off each other left, right and centre. I mean, they dropped a golden cap loss point to Lego earlier on in the season, who turned out to be a fairly decent team, and Animate aren't doing that badly. I mean, they drew with Lego as well, so the law of circles would say that they can take at least 1 point off Epsilon.
I would absolutely love to see that. It would just make this, what's already been a pretty interesting season, even more delightful, tantalising prospect, really. But just see a little chat log there and mumble from David, who's been communicating with the server, and he says they're actually waiting on items, so I think they're hoping that the item server is going to kick in, because he says, I'm stuck on shotgun. If I have to shotgun, I'm down to Div 3 again. Not confident in his shotgun aim.
No, I think a lot of the pockets... in fact, I can't think of a single pocket this season who's been running shotgun full time, or even most of the time. But maybe natural, actually. But I'm not even sure of that. Who knows? But yeah, Gunboat's pocket has really become the norm in Europe and America, really. But certainly all of these players will be not wanting to play without the unlocks. What a change, Admirable. What a change from the previous European mindset.
Oh yeah, I was a champion of that at a time, man. Don't you know, Sideshow, unlocks are a crutch. I once famously wrote in a forum post. But I wouldn't fancy my chances going toe-to-toe with Tech if it was just shotguns. That guy doesn't miss. He perhaps has the meatiest shotgun of all soldiers. I'm throwing that one out there.
Mike as well is going to be running the shotgun on Roaming Soldier if they don't have any unlocks, and his shotgun's just phenomenal. I mean, they're in a bad situation probably to Animate there if they can't run unlocks. But I think another thing which is quite interesting, which I've only just realised, is that because AMS is merking for this team, it does slightly resemble Saints roster that TF2 Center, I'm going to have to get used to calling them that TF2 Center are going to be facing a DreamHack Winter as well, because they have AMS and Nation on soldiers as well, so the soldier combo. And they were going to have Walters as well until the classic land dodge Admirable. Did you see it coming?
No, mate, didn't see it. Even Duncan hasn't played the game in like 4 years, sent a message on Twitter saying Walters will never show up to LAN, and it proved to be right. Although apparently he did want to go. It was just something to do with getting time off work. I
think that's what he said for I-55 as well.
Yeah, classic. We don't believe you anymore, Robin. But there have been a lot of updates to TF2 recently. Apparently, it's been a last-minute update to the item schema that has led to the issues here. But I saw an interesting screenshot earlier of Flame, aka the creator of Flame HUD, aka not Deflame, managed to connect to a matchmaking server or spot a Valve matchmaking server, and he's got his HUD updated with the sort of hidden HUD elements. And he's got the first time out yet of any player in matchmaking because he joined a server and got kicked from it. Matchmaking's coming, man.
He did actually manage to connect to one of the servers. What's slightly worrying is that they're running CP Powerhouse, CP Well, what were the other ones? CP Yukon, Fastlane. So there's the definite potential for some old school maps to be coming back with matchmaking, which I'm slightly concerned about. But the fact that it's progressing and we can see the evidence before us is always something that gives me a lot of hope, especially with our jobs being stolen by the Overwatch people, Admirable.
It's quite incredible to think actually how vast the TF2 map pool is and how dog shit the majority of them are. Like, I really don't want to go back to playing all these maps. And what if you have to play like 6v6 matchmaking on huge maps like Badwater and I don't know, man. I hope there's an element of choice there, but in Valve we trust. Please lead us to the promised land, gay men.
There must be some kind of feedback as well. They've been talking about it the whole time, the possibility of adding feedback and stuff like that. Feedback on items, feedback on maps. You know, if people don't like maps and they kick a fuss up about it, then I'm sure that'll be sorted out. Valve will listen. I have faith. And even if they don't, I mean, that doesn't mean that we have to play it in the leagues. We don't have to all suddenly start playing Fastlane in week 5.
Sideshow, give me the skinny, you know, as a current Premiership competitor. How do you feel when facing off against Animate as full tilt?
We're not bothered by them at all. They're really, they're not a challenge at all. But if they had AMS on pocket, then we'd start taking them a little bit more seriously, I think. But even so, I think they have a lot of individual talent, but it's so rare for them to string it together into anything that can contest the top team. But in the rare moments where they actually do manage to get some cohesion working together, they can actually be pretty good. But it just happens so rarely. You see individual glimpses of it, individual like glimpses of brilliance, but they really need to work on stringing those things together. Maybe it's a conflict of play styles or something like that, but they just haven't been able to make it work this season, and they're sitting almost at the bottom. Are they at the bottom? It's them and Dogs somewhere around
second
there.
Last. I'd actually like I've never seen them play or heard their comms or anything, but I'm assuming that Natural is their main caller because he called in Lego and he's got a commanding voice. You know, he's got a lot of experience. Is that right? And what are they going to do? I wonder tonight. Like, are they going to be even roopier now? Even less coordinated?
I'm not sure actually. I mean, the previous times that they've played without Natural, I think they did all right. But yeah, Natural probably is their main caller. To be honest, I'm not even sure who's calling the shots for this team. It could be fragmented as well from playing with him previously. But we are live. Let's see whether that lack of their pocket and potential main caller is going to hurt them here. We're watching this first mid on CP Granary Pro, and Ryder a lot quicker than Numlocked. Is that to be expected? I think it is.
Yeah, I think pretty much every time expect Numlocked to come from the lower left there. But now we're ready for the action to begin as Ams jumps up and finds 2 soldiers under the crosshair of his rocket launcher, damages one, kills off another. They're setting up these frags, and TF2 Center only have their new medic up right now, and Bulle is just going to kill himself. He knows he can't tangle with Nation there, and he's going to take the easy option and actually catches that spawn wave. So with Tech and Mike coming back up now, it's going to be another 5 seconds before Shocky, Flippy, Numlocked and Bulle are back up, but TF2 Center getting smashed on the first mid Sideshow.
That's going to put a great wind into the back of Animate's sails as well. They're going to be pushing forwards with this Ubercharge advantage. They've got to contest with Shocky on Heavy and Flippy on Sniper as well. They can't take too much time about it, but they can buff up and make sure that they execute this properly. Ams is going to lead it through the right hand side. It looks like he might be calling the shots. He's going to be taking this Uber charge through, but instantly headshot as well. That is disastrous for them. Flippy coming out big, but they're going to lead it in anyway with Ryder and Walters to be trying to focus down people. Shockey's going to be the primary target. They do find the frag on Mike, but Walters falls, and this is going to be a dreadful Uber here for Animate. You could tell as soon as they dropped AMS that they were so unsure of what to do, whether to even go for it or not, and that worked out perfectly there for TF2 Center.
They're moving forward now, uncontested here. All the players are in front of them. They're unsure though as to where exactly Nuki went, but we know he's in front. They're moving forward now, slowly but surely. Already actually Flippy's run into Rumbrim on his own, and he's going to lose that 1v1 with Walters, assisted by Amster with a splash from above. Got baited. But Walters ends up going down as Mike cuts off his retreat with a juicy rocket, and Epsilon are just able to walk in here and spam for free. Nobody's actually going to go for the force. With Nation being bested there, they're just going to allow Epsilon to keep their Uber, and as a result they're probably going to lose second as well here, Sideshow.
Yeah, they're going to have a 40% disadvantage at the moment. Nation actually sniping from the forward spawn, so we'll see if TF2 Center push through that right hand side, but they always push left. This is the thing with TF2 Center. When they're pushing second on Granary, you'll always see them come through that left hand side, and they almost always push from this garage area as well, with the area that Numlocks. But this time they actually send in 2 soldiers up top. Even better perhaps. They're going to force Animate completely out, but the Ubercharge is going to come in. Actually, Fragmented popped it off way earlier, so this is going to give a much better Ubercharge to Tech and Bull here, and they aren't going to be able to stop second as well. Oh, Tech's just going to have a field day here.
Sets up the frags as Flippy and Shockey come pouring forward, and they're straight onto the point as well, but they want to complete the wipe here. Nation goes down just as the cap comes in, and that will be 1-0 TF2 Center after they got smashed on mid. They came back strong. It's a heartbreaker round, baby.
It really is. That's not going to be a nice one for Animate, but they've never had anybody watching up top for that Uber coming into second point, and they're really going to have to work with that, because TF2 Center are really, really good at being able to push that second point on Granary. Let's see if they can replicate the same kind of performance they had on the last mid. Ryder again, quicker than Numlocked, just going to be trading out a bit of damage. None really done to the players from TF2 Center, all stacking up on the left-hand side. Ams is going to bomb it out, but only down to 70 health, and Fragmented instantly falls to Flippy. They have found that trade frag, but they're going to have to go in quickly onto Bulle if they want to finish off this. Nice play by Nation and Walters to pick him off, and they've managed to find Tech as well. They do actually have a player advantage here. It's so well played, that little collapse. But they're going to be careful not to bleed people. And only Numlocked alive. Another fantastic middle, but can they convert it this time?
I was kind of watching the Ryder perspective. He hooked up with Fragmented when he arrived, and he tried to go right hand side, but all the stickies seemed really wound, like he didn't seem to do any damage, so even more impressive that Amps, Walters, etc. were able to clean up there after that. But TF2 Center again find themselves sitting on their own second after a mid fight. But luckily this time they're not face off against a charge. Walters is going to scout forward but get caught out by the bomb forward there. He's going to be down for another 8 seconds, but TF2 Center aren't going to wait around for that. They're already trying to push their way in here from the rump room. Tech's going to go up top and start spamming towards Nation. They're just chipping away here to see if they can bait anyone out of position, but it's a slight Uber advantage here, about 20% for Fragmented, and he's going to lead forward with Amps. Is he going to be able to catch this window? He's trying to get onto Bull, but Bull's already back inside, so Amps is going to try and settle for a frag onto Flippy there.
Tech's going to be coming out with the return Uber now and just pops it off straight away. Going to be picking with that frag on Walters really quickly. Pushing back in through the choke point. They've still got the tail end of this Uber charge, so they're really not going to take any damage. Nation and Walters all falling to that maw of TF2 Center that opened up and swallowed them all whole. Numlocked and Tech doing so much damage with that Uber charge, but now they're just desperately spamming stickies at each other here, Ryder and Numlocked. Neither of them hitting anything. Requires Mike to come in and finish it off for them. But Fragmented did escape, and so that's going to slow down the momentum slightly here for TF2 Center. But they did manage to take up that midpoint, and they have to contest with Nuki in forward spawn. But as I say, TF2 Center just going to push left. They always do it, and Animate are going to have to start reading this at some point and stop playing with the sniper in forwards.
Yeah, even bring their combo over to that right hand side, try and make something happen. But currently the Amps and Nation are setting up camp in Lunchbox there. Nation goes down, but Amps is going to get the drop here onto Bull. In fact, gets that literal drop as well. I just meant he was coming from above, but actually Bull does not right click in time. Uber all over the wall, and the super sub AMS going huge here. Can't quite kill off Shockey, but given his new teammates a huge advantage situation to play off here. They just perhaps want to wait for those spawns.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Animate aren't even poking at the moment. They expected the aggression to be coming in, but if they hold close to these choke points, they should be able to beat them in terms of health anyway. So they sat really passive now, and now they've actually got a little bit of a task on their hands because they have to push out from Granary last with only an uber advantage. They don't have a pick, and they only have about 25 seconds to make it work. Mike's going to get picked up top, actually, as he went for an aggressive play onto Nation, and that's allowed Nookie to get into the lunchbox area as well, so really opened it up for his team there, Nation, and that's going to push Animate forwards with this uber charge, but they've only got 10 seconds to use it if they want to be able to get onto Bulle. I think they're going to try and stretch themselves a little too far here. Yeah, they should just be happy with the Ubercharge being equal. There's no way they're going to be able to get onto Bulle, and now, having only dropped Numlocked, TF2 Center are in a great position to push back onto second.
If Ams hadn't got dropped there, maybe he got juggled forward or whatever, but if he hadn't died and had got a flash, was able to jump forward, they might have been able to like clean Epsilon up there, but just that one slight misstep has just led to a kind of comedy of errors here as Fragmented's left all alone, gets lasered down by Shocky, and TF2 Center are going to be able to follow up on this distraction. There's Mike and Bulle moving in from the right hand side. Mike kind of outnumbered right now actually, but that's not going to bother him as he is getting these sweet heals from Bulle. Flippy comes in as well, misses the soldier, ignores him, but goes and kills off Nation instead. In fact, and now Ryder, the last man up here for Animate, trying to control the point, but just gets manhandled, and TF2 Center extend their lead with another round. It's 2-0 here as we go to the third mid.
If Animate were able to convert on the fact that they're winning mid a little better, they'd be in a great position on this map, but even with these fantastic mid fights that they're showing us, they just are struggling so hard with getting onto second and then pushing last as well. Let's see if they can do it once again. Mike's going to be the player that I'm watching who's playing around that ramp room area with Flippy, the tight combo from TF2 Center, but in comes a big bomb from Ams. He's going to be pressuring the combo here, and Nookie and Walters have got so much room to move forwards. Fragmented has been picked off behind though, and TF2 Center now are trying to collapse onto everybody. Ams desperately trying to find the frag with his escape plan, only to get shot in the face by Shocky. He's not going to allow himself to be humiliated by like that. Nookie, the only man left alive, scurrying around, but they did lose Bulle during the midst of that Admirable, so it's all fairly equal. Actually, Nookie's just big dicking it here. He's coming straight back in.
4 health. He's trying to escape. True. He knows he can't escape that. He tries to go in and trade with Shocky, but gets shut down. Imagine if Ams had a shotgun there. Maybe he could have killed Shocky, but no. He was left to go for the escape plan frag. It didn't pan out for him. But what we see here is TF2 Cinder have actually won a middle for once. I mean, it's been like a sort of incremental improvement. The first middle, they lost middle and then lost their second. The second middle, they just lost middle. And the third one, they've taken middle. So, you know, next time, I don't know, they're going to wipe them and push all the way to last.
Let's see what they're able to concoct here. Mike's going to be the player probably to make this stalemate break. He's he's grabbing some heals at the moment, but I imagine that they'll probably try and either work a pick from somebody overextending in that ramp room area, or they'll send Mike and Flippy in from the right hand side to try and open things up. But it's actually just their combo that's decided to peek on this ramp room. They're just deciding to trade some spam, see what they can do. There's a high risk of them being caught out by a Ryder sticky trap over on this ramp room area, but Numlock's wise to it, and he's making sure that they don't push in to the point where Bulle has to drop them. And it's actually Am's going to be going in for a really aggressive force here. They're using the Uber so far away, and Bulle's going to be able to hold on to this for days. Look at Tech and Numlock here, loving the fact that they've got an extra 5-6 seconds on the Uber charge, destroying players. Nation so high up in the air. Oh, that rocket was incredibly close, just whistled past his toes, but nobody's going to get the credit for that. Nonetheless, Animate getting destroyed there in the left yard. Such an optimistic Uber from Ams.
Yeah, if he'd been like a second earlier, when Epsilon were first, or sorry, TF2 Center were first poking forward, it might have been more successful. But it seemed like TF2 Center were just like bored. They were like, we just need to push forward here. Mike's gonna jump forward though. They're going in dry. 3 big rockets onto Nation. Turns his attention onto Ams. Reloads a rocket. Gonna catch him up there on the pipe. Some big damage coming out there from the Welsh Wunderkind, but that was pretty much cut and dried before they'd even walked through the door. They just beasted it there with the man advantage.
And Animate, once again, they're stringing tiny little bits of players together, but not enough to secure them around. The score 3-0, they haven't made it onto the scoreboard quite yet. And TF2 Center has already got so much position on this mid-fight, actually. Ryder down already. None of the scouts were playing aggressive there for Animate. And Ams is going to be bombing around the side, trying to just make something happen for his team. He's desperately trying to make something work. And he's opened up a lot more space, but with Numlocked taking it down fragmented here. If he can just connect with Bulle, no, there's no chance. And Bulle should be able to be chased down here. Nuki's on the warpath. I have no idea how that mid ended up going the way of Animate. I think everyone got so distracted by such a heads-up play by Ams, just bombing in, no fear for his own life, just making room for the rest of his team, because TF2 Center had so much position at the beginning of that mid, should never have lost it.
Really late death for Bulle means it's going to be a slight advantage here for Fragmented. There's a fight going on second right now. Nation ends up trading with tech effectively. Flippy avenging his fallen French comrade. Walters is forward here, getting hounded out by Numlocked, but he's just been shepherded towards the scattergun of Flippy, and Animate find themselves 2 players down. Nation just about to come back up, but already we see TF2 Center pouring in from that top area. Shockey's dancing across the crates here, and Animate
look at this
want no
backhand
part of this.
Nucky's managed to make his way behind, and he's going to be taking a 1v1 against Tech on the back cap. Tech finds the Rockets to take that frag though on 24 health. Unfortunate for Nucky, but in the meantime there's absolute chaos happening on mid. Seems like TF2 Center are coming out on top despite the fact they lost their medic. It's only Amps left alive and they know exactly where he is.
Flippy already going to move forward on that left hand side. Shockey on the right. The 2-pronged attack here. Shockey spots out Amps on the point. He's trying to retreat, but his jump is kind of stunned in the air. Amps on 33 health there, but they're not going to chase this frag down. Nuki on Sniper, they're going to find that body shot onto Flippy. The doors opened again, and Epsilon, having capped the point, are just going to disappear there. It's the ninja vanish as they decide, are they going to rotate? Are they going to cross Nuki's sightline again? Do they want to just go casino here? He's not actually looking this time. Nuki thinks they're going to go garage, so he's looking the wrong way, and Epsilon, a TF2 Cinder, will be able to avoid that threat for now.
Mike just accidentally knocked 3 stickies into himself and took 160 damage there. He's so lucky that he didn't commit suicide with those sticks, but Flippy has respawned on Sniper as well, so we're going to see a Sniper v Sniper duel happening now. They both caught a little glimpse of themselves there, but
Sideshow.
Hello.
Whose team comms do you want to hear?
I want to listen to Animate team comms.
I can make that happen.
They was just spamming me.
I know. They have a sniper to cover outside. Close.
I need ammo.
Nation,
Come
come here,
out,
come here.
close.
Sniper, right side.
Mike's goes up top, attack a lot. I'm sound. They might bomb him.
Nation, just come here. I'll show you where to stand. Stand at that top right.
20 pick left. Sniper's left.
Wow, I thought Raisin had exciting comms. Resident Sleeper. I'm still playing here.
He's right, you just check the spot. I need the buff. I'm not watching right now.
Go Ramo.
Like the
Never right.
Mike's up top, he might bomb.
Right.
Mike's window.
I'm buffing
Right side, sniper, right
He's
side,
window
sniper.
nation.
Sniper, right side.
He's dead.
Yeah, sure.
It's 2 down.
Yeah, let's go change fast now while there's the crush. You with me?
Oh, they didn't, yes.
Go, 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 go.
I was just on them.
The Uber now?
Not with you,
They're
Raider.
up,
Not with you, mate.
They dropped them, they dropped them.
Starts
3 of them.
going last.
Eric's backed out,
Can you
garage.
It's down.
Nice.
Sure. Medic backed out, garage.
That was beastly from Walters. Didn't have the buff, but still managed to just meat shot you from directly above him somehow.
And that second hold was broken so well there from Animate. Just accidentally timed a sick headshot from Walters at the same time as Mike peeks on the left hand side and Nation catches him with a little bit of an odd spot. So those 2 picks really opened it up there. Very unlucky from TF2 Center, but it worked out perfectly from Animate, and they were able to take in a nice uber charge as well. Nation's surely going to get caught in this right yard though. There's no way he should be able to escape. Tech is on his case.
Jumps
Riders
into the
managed to Yeah, Nation's incredible movement there, unfortunately giving himself as a frag. But that has made it 5v5. They found the frag on Flippy as well from Raider. But again, a little bit of a stalemate. They'll just be exchanging a little bit of spam and seeing if they can open up an angle for themselves to either sack somebody in or find a pick from somebody extending. Looks like Shockey's got the laser pistol, just going to be spamming that one, and the Uber charge has been popped off. Once again, an aggressive Uber on defense by Amps, and he's making them trade so much, but his medic's completely left him there. Amps has just been left out to dry, hung out so badly. Raider comes in, tries to make something happen, but that's disastrous. Fragmented just not communicating properly with Amps for some reason, or people not committing to it, but Nation and Nucky coming in trying to save the day here in that ramp room area. They found the frag on Mike as well, so great stuff from him. Only Flippy left alive. That the after Uber collapse was a little late, but it did get there in the end.
The control point is being contested.
Nation with the jump, didn't want to take Mike in a straight up duel, just jumps and shoots a rocket from the air. Cheeky plays. Both teams now with 6 up, but it will be middle going over to Animate here. There's still 3 rounds down with 12 minutes 15 seconds left on the clock. That's still plenty of time to get 3 rounds even on Granary, or Granary Pro as it is now. But they're going to have to start taking some affirmative action. They have an Uber advantage, but I would say don't even wait for it, man. Already try and start and work your way in here. Force your way into the left. Nation and Amps putting out the spam here have gotten Mike down to 17 as he jumps back. That's enough to push on, guys. Start walking forward here. But they're going to wait for the Uber, and they're going to be really predictable. And they're going to pop the Uber in here. But Bulle hasn't read it, and his position is off. Just as I was lambasting him, Amps comes in and delivers the all-important medic pick. Flippy from the spawn is going to headshot Nuki, though, and spawn back to last. But wow, Animate
Mike
likes
on the
to make this work.
Mike's trying to flank them here, but Nation's managed to shut it out completely. I thought Mike was going to get a ridiculous amount of kills because everybody was focusing forwards. But at the same time, as people have gone back to deal with him, TF2 sent to stink their aggression from the front and are just finding frags on the Scout and the Demo Man. Nation again getting the better of Mike here. He's getting out-roamed on this map. Nation's having a phenomenal map so far. Really working well with his Scout, Nucky, and just bodying Mike whenever he comes into contact with him, which is, you wouldn't have expected it, but that's the way it's going. Amps fragmented once again with a huge Uber advantage, and they really want to make it work this time. I would be pushing from Garage if I was this team, but it looks like they're just going to go for the slightly more difficult push through the choke point of Granary second, and they're going to get juggled a little bit, but they are finding the frag on Numlocked. That set them up perfectly. Let's see if Amps can do something more with this Uber charge.
He reminds me of a young Zevasai here with all these big Ubers, but they just decided they're going to retreat and regroup, having picked off Numlocked there. They know that Epsilon, TF2 Center are going to be having their charge ups in. Bull calls out as Nation jumps forward to try and get that force off, but is immediately destroyed midair by both scouts. And that will just signal the push here from TF2 Center as they push directly onto the point. Mike is trying to hold the high ground there, but he's spotted out that Fragmented and Amps have been hiding up in Lunchbox, but Amps gets knocked onto the low ground, and that leaves the door open for Flippy to just run in and gun down Fragmented. Medic down right now for Animate as Ryder and Walters previously died. Walters just getting back on the field here. Nation going down. It's just all over the place right now. And TF2 Center looking strong. All they need to do is clean up the Amps threat behind, and Flippy and Mike are going to be able to do just that as the point gets capped here on middle, and it's looking good for TF2 Center right now. Still a huge advantage.
But no soldiers to be able to throw at them. I think that was would have been a great situation if Nation or Amps had been alive to try and throw some bodies at Bull there while they were capping, but with both of the soldiers dead, they weren't able to make a play for that Uber charge whatsoever, so they're going to have to leave second completely. Mike's baiting out the flank up top there, forces them back without even committing himself whatsoever, so really nice cerebral play from him. And it's going to be Bull with the Uber charge advantage once again. It's like a 25%. They're going to be coming forward with this Uber charge tech. Once again, the shot onto Fragmented connects. Mike's found another one onto Walters as well, and this is carnage here on the last point. Animate have no answer for this Uber charge advantage. They weren't running any kind of off class either, but that is 4-0 already. And although they've managed to drag it out, there really hasn't been a great opportunity for Animate to get back into this.
Yeah, they've never really looked convincing apart from in the mid fights. We will be going to the 5th and potentially final one here. Let's take a look at what exactly Michael Adams is going to do this, and he's coming in bottom right. And he's just pre-fired rockets here, but sees a scout above him, flick shot onto Nuki, stuns him, and then hits the air shot. That tries to jump forward, but is just hoping for a medpack to spawn there, but he gets pressured hard.
Look at the tech bomb coming in right now. Oh no, he just stopped for a second there to deal with Walters, and now he's found Ryder and Fragmented in his sights, just piling in the damage into them. Tech comes at the end of the mid, completely buffed up there, was just making sure that Bulle wasn't being hurt in any way. Walks forwards like an unstoppable force of nature, just across the point, like a whirlwind, annihilating everything in his path. And there's no way that Ryder and Fragmented were getting away from Tech there. They're only just going to get spawns now as well, so that's going to give them a huge advantage. But I'm taking a look at Nuki here, who's just going to get absolutely melted. He came out of drop down, and I thought he was going to make a nice play onto Bulle or something like that, but he just ran into 3 respawning players, annihilated.
Numlocked trying to push forward onto the point here, spamming out pipes. He's soaking up a lot of damage here, but meanwhile Flippy has turned heads on last. TF2 Center pushing forward here despite being at a man advantage because they have that juicy Uber charge available. Ryder is surfing for his life onto the pipe, lands on 8 health. It's just being focused down there. The shotgun of Tech comes out, but TF2 Center look like they might not be able to get this cap. It's so close to changing hands, but it won't happen. Mike and Flippy, the only 2 players up right now. Flippy just on the spawn, and Mike actually playing sniper here. Interesting.
I think he assumed that his team were going to be able to do that and just went sniper. Who knows why, because he enjoys playing sniper potentially. Shockey's actually pyro in the forward spawn. Yeah, he is. He's pyro in forward spawn with the back burner as well. This play is being set up perfectly here. All he needs is the players to start capping. He's going to bait out the rest of his team. They're just going to act as if they're scared of Animate and drop off, let them start capping, and Shockey's going to come in behind. I can see it working so well, but Shockey playing so patiently in this forward spawn. He's just waiting for the call from the rest of his team. They've given up a frag onto Flippy and Mike, and here he comes. He's sneaking around. They haven't seen him, but there's also nobody on the cap really that he would be able to get onto. He's coming up behind Walters. He's like a spy here, but with potentially less damage. I mean, oh no, he's just getting spotted. Rest in peace, fair Shockey. He was trying to make the Huntsman work in previous maps. He's trying to make the backburner work there. But in the meantime, it looks like Animate are certainly not finished with this map. They are slamming people without Ubercharge. Oh, but the flank from Tech! Ryder can't take him down quick enough with those pipes. And he's dead, but that is going to be a full wipe.
Wow, a round on the board here for Animate, and still 5 minutes 30 on the clock. It's possible. They've had some like wipes on middle. If they could just turn that into momentum, perhaps on normal granary they'd be able to kind of get around those free second caps. But I believe. Let's go Animate. Let's see what you got in the bag. I'm watching the AMS cam, I think. But meanwhile on middle, Ryder's been forced out. Nation's gonna jump up, denies Mike. Amps jumps forward and is trading rockets here with Tech, but putting a lot of damage onto Bull. Bull forced to take the med pack there, but Ryder, Nuki and Fragmented are just hanging around on the left hand side. They're not following up on this great damage and distraction, and now they're trying to move forward when they're at such a man disadvantage. Ryder's not going to be able to escape, but Nuki and Fragmented back out. Why didn't they just commit there, man? They're 4-1 down. Do something.
If they committed to scout with Nation as well, they would have easily picked up the frags onto Flippy and Shockey there. He did so much work in that Ramprim area, but he just couldn't manage to finish off the scout 2v1 against the Roma. But if he'd had any help, that would have gone so much better there for Animate. But yeah, we're now having an Uber v Uber fight, and Amps has completely ditched Fragmented once again. Fragmented left out to dry this time, but they've baited in the frags onto Tech and Numlocked there, who overextended really hard. Nucky's going to come back into this one, trying to see if he can find frags onto Mike. He picks him off, pistols down Flippy as well. Can he find the frags onto Bull and Shockey? It looks like he definitely will be able to there. And Animate still have 4 minutes. They can still tie this up or potentially even win. They just need to start moving now, and Mike will be regretting the fact that he went sniper to the last push and didn't make this one a 5-0.
Nuki's feeling like his pistol's hot right now, trying to continue on the middle with it, but does decide to reload the scattergun. But that was nice tracking there from Lithuania's finest scout, sorry, Nighthawk. We're going to see Animate move up top here. I'm following it up with the distraction made by Nuki there. Nuki just drops down actually and runs out again. Animate seem to be wanting to wait for their Uber charge here. Walters is looking to build with the Boston Basher. Like, they can't wait. I know maybe they've just given up when they're trying to, you know, practice their granary for the relegation playoffs, but they need to go now. Like, they're going to wait for this charge. We got 100% now. It's still a 35% advantage as they walk into middle. 3 minutes remaining. Now they're coming in. Nice air shot there from Amps to get denied, but the pop comes in. Nation then jumps forward, kills off Mike. Amps onto Flippy. He's feeling the momentum now. Lost these Uber pushes. He finds a cluster of TF2 center players there, setting up frags hopefully for his teammates, but they just come in dribs and drabs, and the focus fire, the damage output isn't enough. Nation's coming into the party much too late. He's gonna get shotgunned down by Tech, and Bulle just pops off a safety Uber there as TF2 Center retake control of middle.
And if Animate want to make something happen now, they have to be able to take this round in 30 seconds. It essentially means they have to wipe them within this next team fight that's happening now, and then push all the way to last, and then have 2 brilliant rounds off the back of it. And there's another clash happening, but look at Mike flanking in, getting so much damage onto everybody. Teams up with Tech, takes down Ryder and Fragmented. Everyone from Animate was clustered in that little corner. They could feel the desperation. They knew that they had to make a play. They had to try and push in, and TF2 Center just completely read that perfectly, and that is curtains for them. Nation's going to try and block this, but there's literally no way that they can make this one happen. TF2 Center have come away with the victory on Granary, and it looked a little bit shaky there towards the end. Animate certainly look like they have the ability to make things happen. It's just the consistency, I think.
Uber popped off here by Bulle as Tech and Numlocked look to pad their stats. Well, Tech jumps forward, but Numlocked's like, I'm out here. They're gonna try and kill off Nation, but Nation gets another frag there. Tech going down. Numlocked will claim that one, having beat it out of his pocket. But it looks like Animate want to try it and move forward, knowing that Bulle just popped his charge. Uber's out of the equation. Ryder versus Numlocked is slightly being aced by Ryder there, but meanwhile on the flank side, Mike Adams makes his way onto the point, but it's all kind of inconsequential right now. We're almost certainly in dead time here with less than 65 seconds remaining and 3 rounds the difference.
Yeah, there's nothing more that Animate are going to be able to do on this map. They just have to think of the second one, try and work out what was going wrong for them. They managed to convert quite a lot of the mid fights. I think it was even, or maybe even three or maybe even 4 that they managed to convert actually. So they were doing really well on those kind of set plays, but they just weren't able to string together the transitional plays required to beat TF2 Center on this map.
30 seconds remaining. The logs will be available. Just go to the logs, DavidTheWin. I don't want to see this anymore. We will be going to map 2 Sunshine coming up next here on Team Fortress TV. So stay with us and enjoy the carnage. But I'm just going to alt tab out TF2. And David told me to do the logs tonight, so this should go horribly. Here we... Oh, he says wait 10 seconds. Okay, David. Fine. 10 seconds of silence coming up.
So we'll take a look at the log. I still need to load them up as well and make sure we can have a look. I think we'll see that Nation was performing pretty well though. He stood out to me as a player that was making quite a few big plays, keeping his team in it. Wow, yeah, I'm taking a look at the log now. He got 300 damage per minute and managed to go 28 for 22 on that map, outperforming Amps in terms of stats, definitely. Ryder having a pretty terrible game, to be honest, and Walter's not getting into it either, but Nation trying to carry them by the scruff of their neck through that Granary game. It is a soldier-based map, but Nation, I think, was particularly doing very well today.
Yeah, Tech coming up with the juicy kill assist to death ratio there. Him and Shocky playing pretty efficient games. Tech ends up top in the frags as well. I'm having fun with this stats thing. But Nation, yeah, definitely a bright spark there for his team. But look at the demo man here. Ryder 11 for 21, only 232 DPM. actually getting outplayed by Numlocked. That's embarrassing for any demo man.
Yeah, especially when he was so much quicker to the mids as well. It's very unfortunate there for Ryder. To be fair, he does actually normally play a pretty decent... Hello?
Do you see Mike's air shot stats?
Oh my god, 19 air shots from Mike. I was just about to say how well Tech was playing in terms of the stats, but only 5 air shots. Are you even trying, Tech? 19 from Mike, that's unbelievable.
That is actually unbelievable. I'd be happy to get 19 in a season, Sideshow. You got 19 in one map.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Looking at the med stats then, Bulle putting out over 1,000 heals per minute there. One drop though, shaking my head. But Fragmented kind of outclassed here. Just the chemistry even. Fragmented seemed to be alone a lot of the time whenever the plays were breaking down. But Bulle survives. Let me see the deaths here. Why did you make me do this, David? Bulle with only 12 deaths. Fragmented on 17. The team stats is actually pretty close in terms of the mids. Like, we definitely saw that as an avenue for Animate to get in the game. In the end, it ended up 3-3. In terms of the mid fights, I've seen enough stats, Sideshow. I don't want to make a meal of this any more than I already have. Let's talk about map 2. It's going to be Sunshine. You say Epsilon are confident on this now?
Yeah, I think so. I think
TF2 Center even.
Yeah, TF2 Center. I think it's probably one of their better maps, to be honest, at the moment. For some reason, I think they must have looked at it, must have taken a look at how the mid plays and how to play the last point, etc. They're actually very confident on it. I think it's certainly not one that they're going to be vetoing in the same way that Reason did or Freudtech did or something like that. It's not a bad map for TF2 Center. I think they'll be happy to play it whenever it does come up. So it's again going to be a lot of pressure on Animate to be able to pull out some kind of performance on this map. They often run Flippy on Sniper as well, which is just deadly. I mean, when they were playing against Reason, Flippy was doing so much work on Sunshine, but the soldiers as well just run rampant on this map. Mike and Tech loving just the open play of Sunshine and the high ground just kind of dotted around everywhere. So I think we're going to see those players run wild once again, and it's really going to be on Animate to string some cohesive plays together and see if they can make something happen on Sunshine.
I got a question for DavidTheWin. Is there any chance we could go back to the pre-game stats? Is that possible? He says sure, because there's actually one that I forgot to bring up. That was, of course, the sniper head-to-head here. I must have got flustered, but I'm going to try and open it right now. Tell me, is it working? Here we go. No, wait, I need to put in the ID.
Classic Admirable. Just going to mess around with things a little bit more. In terms
Wait.
of...
Here we go.
Here we go.
We're in business.
There we go.
Do you see it, Sideshow?
I do see it. I see it. David sees it. We all see it. Yeah, Flippy versus Nucky. I think it's definitely Nucky that's going to be the one sniping. I mean, Walters is known to snipe as well, but on this team, it's always Nucky who
only one
ends
map
up picking
so far
up
this season.
Yeah, it's always Nucky that ends up picking up the sniper rifle on games whenever they require him. There, he is more comfortable with sniping. He enjoys it. So I think it'll be him over Nucky. In terms of how they compare against each other, I think Flippy's an absolute god. Nucky occasionally has some hot streaks, but Flippy's just the kind of player that you can string a sniper in pretty much any fight and he won't be that much of a disadvantage to you because he just pops off the headshots left, right and centre.
Yeah, he was going absolutely bonkers in that previous game where Epsilon / TF2 Center seemed to be kind of floundering against Reason, and then they just whipped out Flippy on Sniper at the point when Nox was going mad in comms and everything changed. We heard Cadis being very irate on comms, unable to figure out how to dismantle Flippy, and that seemed to be the main reason they lost Sunshine last week or whatever week it was. But yeah, they're going to be going live momentarily, so you have just joined us here on Team Fortress TV. This is ETF2L Season 22, powered by Saloon.tv. Put your bets on there. It's week 6 and it is TF2 Center, aka Epsilon, versus Animate. TF2 Center just took map 1 Granary in convincing fashion, claiming 3 points and looking to get 3 more here on Sunshine. Sideshow, is this going to be the map? Is this the upset here?
Potentially. I think you might favour Animate on this map compared to Granary, but to be honest, I think this could be even more straightforward for Epsilon. Oh, sorry, for TF2 Center. We're all messing up their new sponsorship, but Numlock's going to be coming from this Flowers area, and I expect them to have a very good performance on this map. Numlock playing so aggressive as well, playing a little further forwards than Ryder is, and Shockey's going to take the 1v1 against Nation in Cafe. Nation comes out on top of that one though, and they've lost Flippy as well, so that's disastrous for TF2 Center. Losing both of your scouts at the beginning of a mid is pretty much the worst thing that can happen, and there's Bulle going down as well, which is the next worst thing. So only Tech and Numlocked alive. They did this on the last map though. Their first mid was an absolute disaster and they still came out on top. So maybe it's not going to hurt them too badly, but once again, Animate coming out on top on the mid fights.
It's kind of funny, like, something that you're... I don't know, if you played a lot of TF2, you often see this pattern where, like, teams are really good on mid, like, they talk a lot about their mids, but they're quite terrible at pushing last or, like, getting rounds off the back of that, whereas Epsilon seem to be the reverse. They don't practice at all, they're playing terribly on mids, yet somehow they're just winning through team chemistry and good decision making, like the sort of individual decisions coming together. But right now, oh wow, pretty early pop here from Fragmented as Ams was just starting to go right. So pretty much a wasted Uber here. He didn't have the sort of forward momentum he was hoping for as the Uber was popped off. And they're going to back off. Definitely discouraged by that level 3 sentry set up there by Shockey.
That's going to give an Uber charge advantage to Bull, but once again they're running that sniper of Nucky. And with Fragmented getting caught there, they really need to find this frag or at least a force onto Bull as they inevitably push out from last. They still have that sentry on last actually as well, and Ams has managed to trade for Flippy there, so they're slowing them down a little bit. They're buying time for Fragmented to spawn and them all to get buffed up, but TF2 Center really need to push at some point. Nice shot by Mike, and Nations, actually the credit goes to Tech there, but Walter's flanking as well, and Numlock's surely going to go down. Numlock's a little bit oblivious to the scout, just hammering meat shots into him, but coming all the way forward with this Uber. Have they overextended here? They should be able to make a lot of stuff happen with it actually. They've perfectly timed it. TF2 Center still with that engineer on last. They're going to be able to cap up second.
We see Mike peeking forward there. If he'd walked any further forward from Cafe, Ams would have had the drop on him because he's just sitting above there on the little red roof. But we're looking at Nation coming in here to catch Mike out. Ams has snuck into Cafe to pick up the enemy med pack. Nation jumps back and stays alive here, but wow, Flippy is finding the exposed Nuki there. He was playing sniper, zoomed in, Flippy runs in and takes him out. Then turns his attention to Walters on middle. He's got to get the pistol kill onto Nation as well. A little 3k there for Flippy, and Mike eventually cleans up that AMS threat behind, and Animate have no option here but to retreat to last and rely on Nuki to find ahead here because they are at a 40% Uber disadvantage right now, Sideshow.
Yeah, they're going to be pushing from that bottom area, leading it forwards with Tech and Numlocked. The Uber charge hasn't even been popped off quite yet. Here it comes, and Tech's going to be battering people into spawn as Numlocked tries to lock off this area, allows Flippy to try and get onto the camp point. Fragmented not going to be able to get that Uber charge, still 20% away, and it's 1-0 already to TF2 Center. Another little snippet for you as well, Admirable, is that the scouts have actually changed their roles from aggressive scout to pocket scout. So Shockey is now playing a bit more pockety, taking a bit more heals, and Flippy's playing a little bit more aggressive, trying to lock down those areas. So keep your eye out whenever the camera is on them and see if they're living up to those roles.
Here come Epsilon comes.
Damage 670, damage 670, it's weak.
Sniper.
I'm going down, I think.
Damage took a lot of damage.
Sword behind?
Good weak.
No?
Underneath, he's underneath. Damage, soldier underneath.
Oh, we have really bad
Scout down.
heals. We have really bad heals. Back.
Reach, push. No, we're out 50, we can't repush.
After me, I'm gonna sprint
We need to slow your aggression down, like with us. You can't go down.
Watch out
Someone
for
check tower?
office.
Yeah.
Play
watch
play
out.
close, I want to push into this position.
Yeah, yeah.
They have a sniper cafe, sniper cafe. Is someone gonna spam me? From the other side? Left side cafe? He's back down, no matter.
They are close to 200.
You're on your.
Je suis pas avec toi, Tech. Hein.
Yeah.
They're pushing cafe.
I know.
They're actually coming cafe. They're coming cafe.
Yeah, step
They're
away.
pushing.
David,
Taking step.
Ja, just. I'm ulted.
I'm sticking them out, sticking them out. They're gonna go choke. Soldier's in,
Okay.
soldier's
Behind you
behind.
guys.
Me down, no?
Soldier's weak.
Nice Tech.
He jumped up in the air.
He's
Oh,
not.
headshot.
Info.
Back out.
All in shot.
I'm getting out.
Give up second, we lost so many people then, holy shit.
The move is
Wow, that was pretty clutch from Ams there. Faked like he was going to jump out the choke and just stood on top of the wooden fence. Spammed down those rockets, had time to reload and just set up a bunch of frags for his teammates and managed to survive himself and just totally turned that around. What looked like it could have been a slam dunk there for TF2 Center turned into Animate advantage here, and they're already knocking on their last.
They don't actually have the Ubercharge advantage though, so TF2 Center is still going to be prodding into lobby, seeing if they can push out with this. Bulle on 91%. Nation's still going to be harassing them, and they have to deal with the sniper of Nuki, but Nuki's so far forwards at the moment that he's not really going to be in a good position to stop the push, but having said that, he hits a headshot straight onto Shocky there, just repositioning himself to see whether he can get a better angle, but I would have loved it if he was sniping more from the cafe area. He would have really been able to stop the forwards momentum from Bulle and the rest of TF2 Center, but instead taking a bit of a strange off angle doesn't really benefit him too much. And now everyone on cookie cutter classes, TF2 Center going to barrel in through the choke point.
What did you see? That Mike jumps in, Nuki just drops off the church, right, and he's kind of not really looking at anyone, looks to Flowers, sees Mike's feet, immediately flicks up, headshots him, stuns in the air, and then just finishes him off with a body shot when he was still mid-air. That was absolutely insane. But TF2 Center have taken control of middle, but it is at least Uber versus Uber now, and wow, if Nuki can continue to hit shots like that, it could be tricky here for TF2 Center to make this progression into second.
Absolutely, and Nuki's still going to be trying to snipe. He's on that balcony area at the moment, taking a look at Flowers, but there's nobody really there right now from TF2 Center. Instead, they're trying to position themselves around Flippy in the cafe area. Ams is pretty far forward, just trying to spam them, but in danger of taking a headshot. In fact, the rest of TF2 Center have rotated round to choke, and he sees an opportunity actually. Ams just going to bomb in, takes down Numlocked and Flippy. Did so much damage there. Absolutely slaying them in the choke as everybody was focused around getting their sniper pick. He goes in, trades 2 for 1 with a demo and a sniper. Great stuff from the pocket of Animate today.
Shocky's supposed to be the defensive scout, like who does he think he's supposed to be defending? Surely he should be there, or Numlocked is trying to protect his ass. I'm calling you out, Stefan. But the fight continues here as the Ubers have faded. And Nation's coming in hot and fast from Floral. He's got gunned down immediately though by Flippy. Walters tries to follow up on that damage. But wow, TF2 Center are just mopping the floor with these kids. It's all on Amps now, last man alive for Animate. And that was just brutal to watch. That was...
Yeah. It's
Wow.
just the scouts coming in at the end there for TF2 Center, and they're not really getting focused as much as Animate potentially could. I think they're putting a lot of damage into Mike and Tech, and not quite being able to take them out. And then Flippy and Shocky just flanked them, and Flippy got 4, I think, in that fight, sorry, and just annihilated them. I think if they try and put more damage on the scouts, they're actually taking surprisingly little amount of heals, Flippy and Shocky. So if they really try and shut them out of the fights, they might do a little bit better. But for now, they've got the Engineer, which is that natural scout counter. Nation's building that up on the left-hand side, but it's only level 1, and in comes the Ubercharge already. Admirable fragmented down, and they're going to be trying to pressure that right-hand side.
The Uber has faded here. Tech is being pressured though by Ams, who sneaks in from behind. And Animate are dragging this fight out, but the point is so close to being cat. Bulle's just going to step on it. And Ryder and Nation unable to get close enough to block that one, and TF2 Center extend into a 2-0 lead here. Still 20 minutes 35 seconds left to be played. So much time for either team to get rounds, but it doesn't look like Animate are keen to get any right now.
Both teams running a sniper to the mid, so they've both decided this at exactly the same time. Nuki's going to be sniping from that Flowers area, Flippy from Choke. He's just sidling around with a fully charged body shot. Misses the first one, I think. Possibly lands it on Tech, actually. Tech's really weak. Gonna try and get onto Bulle there. Nice headshot coming out from Nucky, as that really opens things up for the rest of his team. He's the only person left to really defend Fragmented, though, and Shockey's whiffed so many shots there. Oh god, that's really bad play by Shockey, actually. He had an opportunity to take down Fragmented and then get onto Nucky. Didn't happen.
Tech jumps in, but actually kind of ends up cratering / self-damaging himself into the ground. I'm keeping Fragmented alive, and 80% Uber advantage here as they move forward into middle. Neither team haven't capped it yet. It's still a fair fight here. B is definitely going to be trying to peek in and look for that hero shot, but he's going to first counter snipe Nuki. Now he's looking for Fragmented. He's trying to walk forward, get a little bit aggressive there, but Fragmented's already crossed his sight line. He's safe in the corner there, and with the Nuki being down, are they going to continue? It looks like they want to go with this Uber advantage, but they lose Walters immediately to Numlocked. Mike is controlling the flank there from that little high perch. Ams does kill off at Numlocked, but Animate are slightly all over the place, but they are going to be able to hook up here. Fragmented and Ryder watching Ams jump forward and die. They're just going to retreat. TF2 Center are looking strong here. They've got that charge up. Bull is cracking the whip, encouraging his combo forward. Well, Numlock's still dead, but Tech's walking through now, and Flippy, Shockey's with him as well. Mike had gone ahead, but loses the fight with Walters. Numlock going to join them. Flippy is respawned, and he's going to be playing Scout here. He needs to cover a lot of ground quickly. I mean, Epsilon are currently outnumbered. If Animate wanted to just go and take that fight, but they don't seem to have that read. Like, they could have gone in and mauled them there, forced off at least, but they decided to retreat and keep 6 up. Maybe buy a little time for this Uber, which is getting closer and closer, Sideshow.
Yeah, TF2 Center are going a little bit slowly with this one. They were just waiting until they had all of their players. Fragmented already on 90%, but they're bleeding a few players trying to get the last little bit of it. Fragmented on 92, not connected with anybody actually. Ams left him for a second there. I think he was going to try and save Nuki or Ryder, but they both die, and it looks like Walters maybe headed for the spawn queue as well. No, he actually survives, and they're gonna... Oh, Numlock just juggling Ams. He can't do anything. Poor Ams, what an Uber charge. I mean, he had it all to do there. 1 versus 6. But that was phenomenally bad, and not because of anything he did, just Numlock juggling him so perfectly. And now there's a much better Uber coming out from TF2 Center, mopping up the frags all over the place, and that's a really, really unfortunate one. But TF2 Center just played that perfectly all the way forwards, and again, double sniper to mid, 3-0 at the scoreline in favor of TF2 Center.
I feel like I want to go to some team comms and Animate in the interest of fairness, but they just got hammered there. Is it going to be depressing? Let's find out.
Estamos com a Bulle. Stacked. I'm dead.
I'm up church. So left.
Right,
go
jump
ahead.
in. Oh, I got fucking destroyed.
Get out, get out, get out.
Good round.
They have sniper on mid.
Good shot. I'm out still, I'm on choke.
Lotus is behind them. They know.
Fuck.
Oh, Nucky. I'm scouts there, more behind you, Nucky, behind you.
Come on. Oh, shit.
The salty comments there from Nuki as well. What did he
What a
call it?
play.
Fucking Mong?
It was such a good play though from Nuki. He just clutched that right at the end. He got 3 frags, 2 headshots, and then the cookery kill as well on Numlock, just trying to overextend a little bit and take out the sniper from close range. But they absolutely bossed Animate on that mid as well. Numlock hit a sick air shot, and then Flippy hit an air headshot as well, and just absolutely destroyed both of the soldiers from Animate. And now they've managed to force out this Uber charge as well. Nuki's gone down to the counter snipe. Mike not quite getting air shot there by Ams, who really wants to take this forward, but I don't think has quite seen the health and numbers on his team.
Oh, I'm trying to stuff TF2 Center back into their box. Throwing himself forward there, just buy enough time for his team to escape, but already Flippy is headshot. Ryder, Fragmented going down as well, and he's hungry for more, but wow, Nuki is going to just... What? Headshots, Mike kills him off, then lands a headshot on Tech at close range, but he's just got too much health, and he's going to tank that one. Walters guns down Flippy, and Lobby Tech is going to avenge him, and things just seem to be stabilizing a little bit here. But TF2 Center, the real benefactors here, picking up that middle, and then CP4/2, they're ready to go. They're still in control, man.
Flippy's on Spy at the moment, actually, so he's going to be moving his way forwards. They must have some kind of plan in their minds right now. TF2 Center, Nucky actually hit a headshot onto Tech there, but Tech still manages to take him down. Did Ams spot Flippy? That's the million-dollar question, because Flippy was very late with that cloak, and Ams was spamming in the general area. Does Nation realise the ammo's gone as well? No, it seems Animate are completely oblivious to Flippy's spy shenanigans at the moment. He's going to uncloak, he's coming up behind, fragmented. Is he going to be able to make this one happen? No, everybody's looking behind at the same moment there. Ams, the sentinel, on top of the crate. And Flippy denied. Nucky with a headshot as well. And they use the Uber route really aggressively into lobby once again here. Ams again taking these aggressive Uber trades, just trying to make them flash as much as possible. Actually gets a much better Uber charge this time compared to the previous ones, but once again baited out by the rest of his team, and Ryder's follow-up is nowhere near. Shocky just steamrolling in here, taking them onto last. He's got a 2v1 to deal with, and deals with it no problem. Although I really like the idea of Ubering on really aggressively from defense, there has to be a follow-up. If Ams gets a better Uber out, like he did there has to be a follow-up, either from another soldier, Nation has to bomb in there, or Ryder has to be really quick and laying stickies throughout the Uber, but it's just not happening. Ams is trying to do it all on his own.
Or even if he were to jump left there, right at near the end of the Uber, and go and hit the flank and coordinate that way, but he just stands there and stares at them, and that's not going to win fights. But Animate have rolled out from Floral here, and they're not really making much headway into middle. They do eventually force their way in, but they've taken so much damage here. Team health favouring TF2 Center, but as I say that, Nuki with the body shot onto Numlocked, that's what they were waiting for, but Flippy's here with the response, and it's just the battle of the scopes here, but Nuki with the sweet headshot onto Bulle. Tech's going to jump forward. He doesn't like it when his medic goes down, but his anger will not be vented this time as he gets slain by Walters.
That angle from Nucky, he could only just see the very tip of his head over the top of the hill. He gets domed actually by Flippy. It's a little bit of a battle of the sniper v sniper here, but it seems to be a very secondary battle, you know. The DM and coordination from the rest of the players on TF2 Center is what's really winning them these fights. They don't really need this sniper. The snipers are really just the dressing on the top. And at the moment, wow, really aggressive people are actually coming in from Walters, Ams, and Ryder. They found a frag onto Bulle. That was, I wasn't expecting it at all. I wasn't looking whatsoever. But there's been a backcap happen because they weren't watching any of the flanks. And Shocky and Mike, with a real heads-up player, just going to be able to cap that lighthouse area. And I think they're streaming to last as well. Nice shot from Mike, and he's going to be able to pick up the frag from Ams. Shocky streaming forwards, has a 10 HP Ryder to contest with. And that is all she wrote. 5-0 there from TF2 Center. Although it was a really nice Uber charge, just no contestation of the flank.
That moment when your huge med pick means nothing. Shocky gets the cap, and I guess we'll take a look at the logs. I am gonna mess it all up, but get ready for this delightful 5-0 log. Everyone loves a good 5-0.
Tech again, that's what stands out to me. Tech once again going absolutely huge, backed up by Flippy, but the two of them are just absolutely storming through this map, and Tech was phenomenal on the previous map as well, just taking quite a lot of heals but doing so much work with it, so much damage, and so many frags. His KD on both maps was exemplary, and he's had a masterclass in pocketing today. Ams has tried to keep up with him, but just not quite. Maybe let down by his team more than anything though, Ams, because a lot of the time the situations he was creating were really good, but there was no follow-up and it just hung him out to dry.
Shocky actually topping the stats in terms of kills and assists per death with some pretty efficient play there. 14 kills, 6 assists and 4 deaths. But we got to go to the all-important air shot stat, and it's actually Mike. He only gets 5 air shots. It was a pretty quick game, I suppose, like 18 minutes played. But not the 19 that he beasted on Granary. Who's dying the most? That's what I'm curious. Nuki goes 13 for 13. Nation didn't seem to have as big an impact as he did on the previous map. He ends up going 6 for 13, only does 193 dams per minute. let's not talk about the logs anymore. These guys just want to get straight down to business. We did have them all here for team comms, but they're already joining us. In Mumble, we have Bulle, Mike, Nation, Seb Barton, and CX is joining us because he is like the official documentarian of TF2 Center now, as far as I know. Sideshow, you got any questions for these kids?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it over to Nation. Actually, what's it like playing with AMS? You know, the Uber charges were getting mocked in the TFTV chat, but I didn't feel like they were too bad. What's it like bringing him into the team? Is it positive? Were you lacking the calls? What's the change like?
I think calls were great, but like it's not about pockets in Animate. Like we never have very good Ubers, but I think it was great. EMS knows how to make a space for Ryder and everyone else to commit. So yeah, I think it was great.
So that's not quite what went wrong for you today. What was going on then? Why were you not able to put up a fight against TF2 Center? I genuinely thought it'd be a little bit closer than it actually was.
I think we won some mids, but like whenever we had advantage, we just fucked it so hard. Like I think Nuki headshotted Bulle on mids like 3 times, and Fragmented survived, and then we just couldn't push second or last. It's just about like our mids weren't a problem. It was just the game after the mid.
Yeah, me and Admirable were looking at the mid fights actually, and you guys were doing fairly well. I think you won half of them, maybe even more than half of them over the course of both of the maps. But yeah, you still weren't able to commit to anything. Seb Barton, do you have anything to say for yourself in terms of mid fights? Goodness me, what were those rollouts?
Standard, innit?
Standard. It's to be expected.
Standard.
Yeah.
Like one thing I didn't understand in Sanche, I was always going cafe and just sitting there next to the medkit. In like 4 or 5 minutes, somebody just went there and died. Like, why? Why are you still going there? I don't understand.
Mike, why are you still going there? He doesn't understand.
Why, Mike?
I was just dying there. Like, I was just sitting in cafe next to medkit, and you always went there on the mid.
I thought you just like were being really slow. Like getting, I thought you couldn't rocket jump to mid properly, but then after a while, I just realized you were like delaying it or something. So, but I don't know. I tried to get through cafe the first time to get around to the sniper choke, so I just went super fast. I didn't even think you'd be there, and then you just killed me. But it was really weird because I got there before you did, and I was confused then. But
I'm like every single mid, I was just sitting there for like 4 seconds, just looking on the medkit. That's so weird.
Yeah, I only went there like 3 times, I think, out of all the mids. But towards the end, I just started spamming you, trying to keep you up. But
yeah.
We got picked off by the sniper quite a few times. I don't know. I think I've just gone top right and done some bigger jump, but it was hard to get. You all just play so passive that it was hard to get to Nuki.
Yeah.
So those 6 frags that you got, Nation, 5 of them were on the med pack?
Yeah, 5 of them were on the mid fight.
Mike, did you realize on Granary you hit 19 air shots according to the logs? Did it feel like that when you were playing the game?
I felt like I was playing okay, but at the end, Bulle was like, "Oh, you guys don't seem to care that much," and I was like, "Well, you know, I got 19 air shots, so I obviously care a bit, at least." So that was just to prove to my team. But I don't know. It feels like I actually, you know, I only really noticed the ones I missed, so it could have been more. That's all I can say.
You're a true perfectionist. I mean, we also saw Nation really stepping up on Granary as well. He put in a sterling performance. He was kind of top in the stats for his team, even though they couldn't turn that into enough rounds to contest the ETF2L points. But what encouragement do you want to give Nation here? You know, do you want to pay him a compliment, the greatest soldier ever in TF2? What are you going to tell him?
Played okay. I had a pretty decent game. I think overall. Like I remember for the end of Granary, he was dominating me for like 15 minutes. I just kept trying to kill Nation, and I got really annoyed because I'd respawn and then I'd like rocket jump, and Tech would have just like killed Nation, just as I got there, and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, every season I have one good game, so I guess this was it.
Yeah, man, you were bossing them around. Like, it's going to be interesting to see you play at DreamHack Winter. You're not going to dodge, are you, Nation?
Nah, I'm not dodging. I hope
In terms
nobody
of
else dodges.
in terms of like how the game actually went today, one of the stats that really stands out to me is the fact that the damage was actually fairly even on both of the maps. I mean, there was a slight favour towards the Team 2 Centre team, obviously, if both of the games are going to be like fairly hard ones. But the kills were nowhere near. I mean, the damage was fairly close. It was only like 2,000 off on both of the maps, but the kills were just like vastly in favour of TF2 Centre. Is one of your big problems, Nation, like, or not you personally, but the team, like focusing down the frags or finding them? Do you think your scouts were not stepping up? Why were you not finding the frags as a team tonight?
We don't really practice. I think we play even less than Epsilon.
You can't use that excuse against us.
And well, like we are all like new players, so it's kind of hard. That's why we were so passive, because we don't really know how we want to play. And since DreamHack is close, me and Rogers just dropped from the team, and we decided to only play with the DreamHack team. So
Then Walters dropped from that team.
he might actually go.
Really?
He told me today, yeah. But
We
it's
believe in you,
more like
Walters.
50-50.
What's your other
Nobody
option
knows.
actually for that? Who's your backup scout then?
I think Benny is still looking for a team. I think
Danny?
if Walters is not gonna play, we're just gonna play with Denia or Hank.
I don't think Denia is actually that bad, but it would be a shame if Walters dodged the line in Sweden.
Yeah.
He normally goes to the ones in his title dodge.
I think he told me it was like some problem with his job, like he couldn't go, but
Yeah, never mind them.
nobody knows yet.
For all before. Come on, Walters.
It'd be good
Make it
to have
old
like
man
4 good teams.
In terms of Animate then, Nation, have you guys finished where you wanted to finish? Are you happy with your performance?
I hope we're not gonna be last. I still hope TR is gonna win over Danger Dogs. But
Is that what you're relying on? Is that what gets you out of the relegation position if Dogs lose completely to TLR?
yeah, I just want to beat my former team, and that's it.
Your former team, of which only one of the players is the same.
Yeah, I think he just really wants to be Kratos.
Yeah, just some bad blood there from Nation.
So you're not confident at all, Nation, in terms of being able to get any points from Reason in your last game of the season?
Well,
You
I think
throwing
we
in the
played-
towel?
I think we played this decently today, but I'm not really sure if we can take any points from Reason. I think they are quite keen.
Yeah, they'll probably be studying your demos and everything.
Yeah, but
They don't underestimate anyone.
They are scrimming, so that's the first step to victory.
And next week, the biggest game of the season is going to be not Epsilon Esports, TF2 Centre versus Full Tilt. How are you feeling about going up against Sideshow, Mike Adams?
I am taking great
It's
offence
like,
at the
I
giggling
hate
going on.
Playing, because you just play like a retard and you just walk. You keep walking forward when you shouldn't, and it's just like you're taking so much damage, and yet you still like push areas to get. I don't know. I just can't play against idiots.
Would you say you hate them?
Well,
No, it's a very strong word.
so
I hate playing against them. That's,
I
I just remember the last time we played. It was just horrible.
dislike idiots.
So I was slamming you on Granite. Does it make me idiot as well? I'm very
No, because
disappointed.
that was me that was pushing a lot of the time. But like, if I say I'm just like spamming Sideshow, like holding in, I don't know, cafe or something with the scout, and then you'll just like walk, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, it's a good idea to just rocket jump into him, like, even though he's got a team with him. But then I don't know, it just happens. So happens that Shocky looks around for a second.
Just
The
so
moment he
happens,
jumps-
all of this stuff runs through my head. I'm thinking, yeah, Shocky's going to glance over at Flowers, that's why I'm taking this engagement. Or we'll go in, we'll wreck this MG shit nerd, and then we'll back out.
No,
I got it all planned.
Yeah, luckier player than me. That's all I can say.
Lucky go casino.
Master game sense, Sideshow. Master game sense.
Yeah, in terms of that game, I mean, if our game against Lego is really close, then it'll come down to our game against Epsilon as to whether or not we get into the playoffs. So it'll be a big one. Our last 2 fixtures are really important for our team.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a good game for us. It'll probably be like similar to the TLR game, I guess, except we won't be playing Process this time. But as well, I don't know, what I thought was more important next week is Reason TLR, because TLR, who knows, they could maybe even beat Reason, or they could get destroyed, or they could take a map. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting kind of because TLR are completely out of the playoff race right now because they managed to mess up so badly at the beginning of the season. Even if they're to stomp the rest of their games against Danger Dogs and Reason Gaming, they're still stuffed themselves by doing so badly against us, against Lego, and then drawing to you guys and Serpents as well. So even though they're a team that have the hots and colds and can really take points away from teams, it's not one that's going to affect the playoff race, I don't think, unless it knocks Reason down into second place.
Can we get a little show of hands here, since we got some important games coming up in this week and next week? Reason versus TLR. Bull, what's your prediction? Who's going to take that one? What's the scoreline?
Reason TLR. I 6-0 for Reason.
Mike?
I'd say 3-3.
Nation?
It's gonna be 6-0 for a reason.
Seb?
Go.
Actually, it depends. Like, who are they going to even use as scout?
A scout? What do you mean?
Yeah, because they had first they were playing. I can't even remember. I just know they were playing with Nico and then Sanzi, and now I don't know.
I think they're playing with Nico full time now. But another important factor is that I think Cadus will be able to play. I'm not sure whether his hand's going to be repaired. At the moment, he's taken quite a bit of time off. I think they delayed one of their officials against TLR so that maybe he'd be able to play, but he might still be out of action. In which case, I guess they'd play with, I don't even know. They asked Spurd, maybe Smira. I don't even know who they would use.
That's happened a lot before, though, where he's said that he doesn't think he can play, but he's played anyway.
Yeah, probably. But he hasn't been playing for a while, so it might be a little bit more serious than previously.
Gotta bring Bull in a little bit here as well. We haven't said much to the man, but this was your second game of the season. Of course, you had that horrific experience of playing with Sideshow earlier. Have you cleansed that horrible taste from your mouth now? Do you feel good? Having got a win under your belt?
Yeah, definitely feel good. I still feel a bit like rusty because I only play from now and then. I'm going back to play more regularly with this team. So yeah, I get the feeling of playing again, and it feels pretty good. Like the comms are good. Like Seb is leading the team. It's really easy for me to just focus on calling the Uber advantages and shit, even though sometimes I forget. But yeah, overall it's pretty fun.
Seb, how do you feel now that the Nox is no longer a voice on your mumble?
It's fine. Like, it happened before. Last time I was playing with Epsilon, and Nox left, and I did all the main calling. And we kind of shared the majority of the calling anyway. Like, he'd do some, I'd do some. I'd mostly lead damages and control team fights and stuff, and he'd say how we're going to set one up. So it's just a bit more work, but it's fine. Like, I like it, to be honest, because there's more adrenaline stuff during the game.
Do you find that you have to reel yourself in, whereas maybe before it was the odd couple, you were countering each other a little bit or balancing each other out? This time, would you be more aggressive in your calls than Nox? Are you more opportunistic or optimistic?
A lot more aggressive, I'd say. Like, there's often times where I'll just be sitting around corners with Bull spamming or getting Tech and Bull to sit around corner spam, get ready to face on Ubers and stuff. Whereas before, Nox became a lot more passive since I came back. And that wasn't really working out for us because we just kind of get steamrolled because our playstyles were too conflicting. Like, he'd want to stay passive and I'd want to get in their face, and then it'd just end up with me getting picked and then us losing rounds after rounds like that. You saw that sort of thing happen on Process against TLR. They steamrolled us to 4-0 or something before we decided we need to fix it. But it's a lot easier now.
How do you think that's going to fare in the inevitable grand final Reason against TF2 Center? Is your all-out aggression going to stand up against the well-drilled Reason side? Are they just going to grind you out?
I think we'll be fine. I'm not worried.
Do you even care? What's more important to you right now? Winning the season or winning DreamHack Winter?
I'd say DreamHack. It's more prestigious, I think, to me, because I've won ETF2L plenty of times, but this is going to be my first ever DreamHack.
Very true, very true.
But increase everything I've won in TF2, you know.
Other games then, who do you think is going to take Full Tilt versus Lego, another important fixture in terms of the playoffs?
I think Lego, going by what we've seen from both teams in scrims. Like I've been impressed with Lego since we first played them. I think they're a really strong team.
Nation, who are you feeling in that one?
Doesn't have Talash broken monitor?
No, he's got his monitor. We haven't been playing with Talash for like the last few days because his monitor was broken, but he's got a new one. Oh, yeah, I don't think he got a new one actually. Alex and Cadis sent him one of their spares through the mail, which thankfully got to him unbroken, so very kind of them.
Like Lego was very strong on the start of the season, they were slamming everybody, but I think they started playing a little bit more passively, maybe even worse, so I think Fortress should beat them.
Do you think teams are starting to figure Lego out?
Well, when we played them, I think I was poking in that game, and like the only call I made was just focus Dimur, and I think we drew that official. So if they just manage to focus Dimur very well, there's no one else to really.
Who do you fancy in that one, Mike?
Lego.
Bull, who are you going to back?
Of course, my man Timo is gonna win. Easy.
Oh yeah. So both those games are currently scheduled for the 9th, which is Monday, outside of the week 6 schedule window. But anyway, that's what's going to happen apparently, and that'll be right at the start of week 7. We're going to have Epsilon Full Tilt, of course. I can't really get an unbiased opinion here. Who can I ask? Nation, who's going to win Epsilon Full Tilt?
Who?
Epsilon
Full Tilt?
Tilt?
TF2 Cinder Full Tilt. Change your name on ETF2L, you mong. I'm looking at the fixtures page.
I think Epsilon is gonna take it.
Who? Do you mean TF2 Center?
TF2 Center, I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks. And another game that might actually be a bit of a sleeper there is going to be Lego versus Serpents, because Serpents have actually got pretty good at the end of the season. Kenzie really coming hot. They have White Glow back on Medic, which is really working well for them. Sideshow, could you see an upset there in week 7?
Yeah, definitely. I think Lego, they're the kind of team that can do well against good teams, but I mean the fact that they lost to Animate as well shows that they're pretty susceptible to losing to lower level teams. I think Serpents are actually really quite bad on the 5 CP maps. Like they don't really have the cohesion to string things together normally, but if they get a map that favors them, I'm not quite sure what the maps are going to be actually. Is it Badlands or something?
Badlands Granary.
Badlands Granary. I don't know, they might be able to do something. I'm not counting out an upset. I think it's much more likely than some of their previous fixtures.
I think Sherborne's PC is broken, so...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That might be curtains for them then.
Yeah, so everybody who likes Sherborne should donate him some money, so he can buy a new one.
Apart from Matt CV.
Yeah, apart from him.
Master Noob, if you're listening, Sideshow or Shadowburn needs a new computer.
I'll have a new
Sideshow
PC as well
will
if
take
you...
one too.
Yeah, if you're throwing them around.
We'll, I guess, wrap things up here. I could go through every goddamn fixture. Mitzi wants to know actually what's the password for the mumble here. Do we want to bring Mitzi?
No, don't let him in.
He's not affiliated with the team anymore because you guys aren't Epsilon, right? So he's not like a TF2 center manager or something. So
he's got his tagged
out
up, man. He's got it in his name, but he's messaged me on Steam asking to come in. But no, sorry, Mitzi, you're denied. I just want to point out that there will be a lot of fixtures coming up over the next few weeks. We've already seen there's going to be 2 week 6 fixtures pushed into week 7, so that's 6 games next week. Then there's going to be the high playoffs. There's going to be the start of the Razor Game Sense monthly mayhem thing every Wednesday, and those other cups every Sunday as well. So I expect we're going to see a lot of TF2 coverage then here on Team Fortress TV. So keep an eye on our schedule. Follow us on social media. We've actually got some new shorter URLs here, so you can just like get involved in all our groups. I'm gonna spam them in chat here, but it's like twitch.teamfortress.tv, twitter.teamfortress.tv, facebook.teamfortress.tv, youtube.teamfortress.tv, and steam.teamfortress.tv. We just made that really easy for you there. In chat, boom, new technology. Facebook's our newest addition. I'm not actually paying attention to it, but you hip young kids may enjoy that. Sideshow, wrap this show up.
Yeah. Well, this has been Team Fortress. What was I going to say there? This has been TF2. I think I was about to say. Goodness me. I don't know. You put me on the spot. Cut it. No. This has been TFTV with Animate versus Epsilon. And sorry, not Epsilon. TF2 Center. God damn. I need to break that one into myself. It's the new sponsorship. Very thankful for that as well. But yeah. Check out TF2 Center if you guys have enjoyed these guys. That's the level of play you can expect on TF2 Center, and we'll see you guys again for some more Premiership action.